soon as I was old enough, I left Adelaide. By accident, really. I was just going to work one day on my motorbike, and it was a nice sunny day, and I didn't feel like going to work, and so I went to Perth instead, and then just continued travelling for quite a few years, probably a couple of decades, and ended up in Melbourne. Started playing a lot of Middle Eastern and Turkish and Balkan music. I joined a Macedonian dance band, and I was playing an instrument called a kaval, which is an end-blown flute. And while I was playing it one day, this Kurdish guy came up to me and says, "Oh, do you want to join a Kurdish band? Because we need a kaval player." And I've never heard of Kurdish music, but so yeah, I'll join you. So I joined this Kurdish band, and all the Kurds in the band all spoke Turkish. They were reading the local Turkish newspaper from Melbourne, and there was an advert for a classical Turkish orchestra that was advertising for players, and they said, "Oh, you should go for that." But I couldn't speak Turkish, so I got them to phone up and make an audition for me, and I went down and just joined this orchestra and played in that orchestra for, I think, 3 years. And I really loved the music, but I couldn't stand the climate in Melbourne. So I moved up to Brisbane, which is much better climate-wise, but there wasn't too many people playing Turkish classical music here. So when I got here, I stuck on a few flyers up advertising a tune swap day, just to get to meet people.
Does anybody have a definitive A or a definitive no?
The drums and Amanet start.
I've got a DAF as well.
Luckily met Bill and started going to the Waziz sessions. It was through Vivian. We were at the National Folk Festival, and Vivian said there's this guy who's teaching Balkan and Middle Eastern music on Saturdays at the Wogs Club, and so I went along, and it was great. I played him a few of my Moravian tunes, and we started doing some Bulgarian and Macedonian tunes.
Bill had a stack of music, and it never seemed to run out. You know, every week he'd give us new pieces to learn, and we'd practice new pieces. So we ended up learning a couple of hundred or more pieces over the years.
Then he started introducing Turkish tunes. And for me, I'd started to get my head around the crazy rhythms and the interesting scales of the Eastern European music. And then moving slightly further east, I got exposed through Bill to the Turkish music, which is another whole school of music theory entirely.
Doing a gig in Yungaburra and having a little practice at the folk festival outdoors before we had the gig, and then Bill turned up and he says, "I know how that tune goes," and we said, "What?" And anyway, it turned out that he could already play along with this stuff, and he was really good, you know, and it added a great sort of, like, he just joined in and played, and I thought that's really amazing that we've got this stuff, but he knows it. He wouldn't play the German one, but that's understandable.
Not knowing Bill, I called him in the morning, and Bill keeps the hours of a cat, and generally doesn't like to get up before midday. And so I was like, oh, he seemed a bit short, but he said come along, so I will go along.
When we were in Greece a couple of years ago, I saw this fantastic billboard, and it was advertising some guy. I couldn't read the writing, but it was definitely a clarinet player, and he was wearing a gold lame suit, holding his clarinet like proud as punch, and he was playing it in a massive auditorium, you know, and I thought, this is the place I want to be, this is the kind of music I want to play, because they really celebrate their clarinetists.
That's when I really decided that I was going to pursue world music other than Irish music and other than classical music. And it was a great place to do it, because every week Bill would bring a new tune, and it might be from Bulgaria or Macedonia or Turkey or Armenia or, yeah, Greece, and it was the start of the Waziz sessions.
Just want to get that 781 that was playing first, because it's quite an easy just by ear without. Yeah, that sounds right.
Spending 3 months in Eastern Europe, which was amazing, and I decided from that point, we ended up at a Sufi festival in Konya at the end of the year, and we met some amazing Persians, and who, you know, let me have this incredible daf drum, which I now play, and I thought to myself, when we go back to Australia, if I can get Tunji Baya to give me lessons, I'm setting my sights nice and high. If I can get him to give me lessons, then I'm going to play percussion. I'm ditching that silver flute because it's never been satisfying. It's just always been a bit too twee. So I switched to Darabuka, which must have also been a little bit horrifying for Bill, because sometimes we'd have up to 8 Darabuka players with as many melodic players at a session, and it was a wall of sound over which he could not hear his oud a lot. And so he developed a very strident and loud oud playing style in order to try and be heard, because he's the leader of the group. You know, we're all meant to be taking our time from him, but the Darabukas would take their time from no man and would race off wherever they wanted.
One afternoon in West End, I just heard echoing across the street in Boundary Street this drum and other accompanying instruments, and basically music I immediately identified as music that my grandparents had listened to. And I looked across the street and I saw Bill and others who I now know, and I just couldn't believe it. I crossed the street and there was this, like, at least 8 musicians sitting on the footpath. It was funny, the first couple of times that I saw them, I wasn't really, I was too shy to go up and actually talk to them, so it took me about at least a month before I actually went up and introduced myself and explained that I was learning this drum.
She was running
very
out.
tall, I don't notice short people.
Yeah, tell me about it. She's kneed me in the eye how many times? Greta, I'm here!
There was something sort of a bit underground about it, you know. What I liked about it is that it was totally voluntary and people were coming along for the love of it. And it was totally disorganised, very, you know, anarchic maybe, you know. It was no one was really the leader. Bill would
Bill
sort
was
of
always the leader.
But he'd sort of bring the music, but he'd never tell anyone what to do, really.
I don't really know why I like the music from Turkey and Macedonia. Yeah, it really appeals to me. There's something about it. I just forget myself and go into it. Yeah, I have no idea. It feels like that's the right music for me. I just always have loved it. And even long before I learned to play it, I just loved the music.
He'd sort of give us frowns if we were racing off, which often happened, but we kind of got to read the language of his eyebrows very well.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. This is really what music's about. It's about people coming together and playing because it's fun. We're all really exploring this new genre and learning about it, and that sort of, I don't know, I think that sort of united us because we're all learning together.
Session from an Egyptian man who I met randomly at another gathering. He mentioned it to me because he thought it would be something that I would be interested in. And so the very next sort of Saturday, I went to check it out.
So, Kelly, are is fine, yes? The beginning.
With an improvisation, or just I start the tune? I can't remember.
Improvisation.
Oh, really? Okay. It was in Turkey that I bought my first name and sort of had a go and found that I could get a sound. And Bill really encouraged me to keep playing and sort of showed me the ropes.
Just basically pronounce the WH of who, so just, and just expel your air gently, no more than if you were blowing your dinner to get it cold. You're just going to put something hot in your mouth and you want to cool it down a bit, so you just blow gently like that. And because if you blow too hard, you just blow any sound away, and you don't get any benefit from it.
The ney only has a lot less holes than the clarinet. You know, no keys. It's just very simple and bare, and in some ways a lot more sensitive to the breath than the clarinet, which I found very refreshing.
And so basically, the middle, each group of three there's groups of 3 holes. You just cover the middle one there, and with the thumb. That's called the open position where you start. It's generally where you start. And when you start, you just don't actually uncover these holes at all.
You know, Bill introduced us to so many different types that, you know, some people thought, oh wow, we like Balkan music, you know, more than this, or we like Turkish music more than that, and it's funny. So through that community, so many bands have started. I'm pretty sure it would be at least maybe 7 bands, I'm pretty sure. And it's quite incestuous. We all play in each other's bands.
Valley Fiesta asked me to put a group together. I just went for a stroll down West End and left my number in a few Lebanese cafes asking if they knew anyone that played any Middle Eastern or North African instruments, and I was really lucky that Greta actually walked past about half an hour later, because I had only about 24 hours to get back to them, and called me. And at that stage there was kind of a starting version of Mzaza, I think, happening, which had Bill in it, and Murray on double bass, and Dave Oddy playing percussion, and those guys were all part of the Waziz group already, and so I got introduced through there, and Mzaza was started. That was our first gig. Over the years that we've grown to kind of create our own material a lot more from the traditional tunes, and also write a couple of originals like the one I've written with Bill. Nights of the Teapot was like a little instrumental piece, I think, that that Bill wrote when he was, I think there was a story about a share house and a teapot, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And basically him and I just sat down together, and I said, oh, you know, we could arrange it this way, and I wrote some lyrics for it, and then we figured out what structure was going to go in and brought it to the rest of the band so they'd write their parts. And Là où tu vis means where you live, and for us it's the story of love separated by geographical distance. That's what the lyrics in French are about. But yeah, it's a really nice tune.
Là où tu vis, il fait froid. La nuit dure, la nuit dure. Là où tu vis, il fait froid. La nuit dure pendant des mois. Dans tes rêves, tu me vois, mais je m'éloigne, Dans tes rêves, tu me vois, mais je m'éloigne de toi.
guess the way I came in to the music that we're playing now was kind of popularisation of like the gypsy music scene and that kind of thing, and getting interested in that. And a big thing was the Tony Gatliff movies, which he documents like the music of the gypsies and like Latra Drum, their journey, and that kind of influenced my taste. The thing that drew me to the music was the soul of the music, the community, the energy. Yeah, just the passion behind it, I guess.
I wanted to get a band together that was specifically to work on the belly dance stuff, on the Egyptian stuff, and so we ended up forming a smaller group, Waziz. Originally at that point it was Bill, Greta, Kelly, myself and Mike, and a really good friend of mine, Elias. I just found a way that I could really express who I was, yeah, like on a really deep level. And I'd always liked dance and movement. And then to find this dance form that was simultaneously really centred and grounded, and also really expressive and free. And I found that for my personality it was really liberating. And as I'd been quite painfully shy as a child, so.
Matt and I decided to put the Trans-Balkan Express together after an experience at a camp called Bamadam, which is the Balkan and Middle Eastern Dance and Music Association's annual camp.
We got involved because we found out about the Bamadam camp, and we went along to that and just got really inspired to really get involved in both the music and the dance.
Nick and his brothers came, it was just an incredible injection of sort of, I don't know, the vision that young people have, and the way they'll just engage with stuff. And Alex is a fantastic dancer. Nick's really good too, and his little Stephen's an amazing liar. But no,
very good liar.
No. He's really gifted, an incredible musician, and yeah, those people coming along made the session really live. Certain people bring, they might not play any music, but when they dance with us, it really, they whoop and holler and all that sort of thing.
All of these people were in the middle playing music, and all of these people were dancing around them, and everyone was having an awesome time. We want to do that. We want to create a band that does that.
About, I don't know, the group dynamic and the energy that's created by that circle circling around.
A lot of, particularly the Balkan music that gets played, they're tunes that are there for dancing to, and you know it's actually the musicians following the dancers. The dancers tell the musicians when to stop, when to speed up, when and it's the energy of the dancers that gets the musicians playing faster and really getting sort of fired up with it all.
This is an instrument called an oud. It's originally an Arabic instrument. An unusual shape, and the peg head is bent like that. They make electric ones now, but I was going to buy one, but this peg head really annoyed me because the rest of the body is completely flat and they've got this bent neck, which is stupid. You can just have a flat one, it'd be much more convenient, but apparently you've got to have this. It doesn't do anything for the sound, but yeah. It's just a big round body. It's really nice to hold, and late at night you can put your ear on the body and it resounds through your head. It's really quite fun to play.
After meeting Bill, got more and more interested to start learning to play oud. So I found myself an oud which was very broken, the one that I found, and I repaired that and got that working, and that's now circulated through a few other people who have just decided to play with. Yeah, so I was playing that and learning from Bill, mainly he was just teaching me just orally rather than through written music, because I didn't read music at that stage. This instrument is something that I've been working on and using as the basis for some experimentation. The body is actually from a Bulgarian gudulka, which Mike Taylor brought back from Bulgaria. And I've done various things to it, pulled it apart, added bits, experimented with the soundboard, drilled holes in different places. I was involved in instrument making as well, and I thought, well, why not, instead of just building guitars, why not build all these other instruments, because there's so many out there. So sort of both looking at building instruments from these places and learning the music was, you know, really inspiring, and it sort of continued to push me to keep doing those things, and meeting people like Bill particularly, you know, really helped with that. Bill's knowledge on particularly the Turkish makam is just like phenomenal for little old Brisbane, you know. And it's really, yeah, just been lucky for everyone to kind of suck that knowledge out of people like Bill.
Start off with that. Yeah.
Like the best way to spend the Friday night.
Oh, we have to do yours, right?
Yeah, let's do Bill's and Becky go. The date of the concert, so for example the dates that we penciled in, but there's several options for a venue.
What's that? Yeah, what about then?
Well, that is booming as hell.
Okay, so not good.
So I think if you get that for free and the date works.
Yeah, actually Julie
might be able to do
Julie said in the email,
really cheap price or for free because it's a community event.
violins here, there's 4 drums here, there's 3 ouds here,
Yeah.
and then Suri can decide what mics she's going to put on. Because all those notes that I wrote into the email after practice, I left them at home.
Oh,
no.
I've got the old notes
cool.
that I wrote before.
Okay.
It was Caracas starts with woods and canon, no percussion through A and B, and then the percussion comes in back in the A section, and I think we have violins come in then, and then it goes A, B, and then clarinets come in on that, and then everyone plays until the end.
There's some illegal cockfighting going on inside the Polish club. It's all under the cover of darkness. We're saying that we're really playing a concert, but I'm just about to get some of my chickens out of the car. So I just appreciate if you turn the cameras off for that. Around in this bag, but got to let them out so they can get some air. Oh, that's sick. So nice. That's awesome. Holy moly.
If we combine 4 clarinets onto here, then we still don't need more channels.
Oh,
yeah, you see, so that's, yeah.
So, because you play the ney and oud, yeah? And is your oud a DI or a minor?
I've got a DI on it, but I haven't checked it for ages, so I don't know whether it's got a pop on it. So.
On behalf of everyone on the stage and behind the scenes this evening, I'd like to welcome you all to the Waziz family.
A lot of people from outside of Brisbane were recognising it for the first time. For example, we went to Bamadan, Tamara and Mike's music camp, and a lot of musicians come up from Melbourne and Adelaide and Tasmania, and they noticed that we knew all these songs, and it's very unusual for a bunch of people to know the same Armenian song, the same Turkish song, the same Bulgarian song, and they were asking us how we came to learn these songs, and we told them about the session, and they said there's nothing like this in Melbourne. I think in Melbourne they've got a critical mass of Bulgarians, a critical mass of Turks, large enough to have their own sessions, and in Brisbane we haven't got that population, and so we've just all come together playing this mix of music, and that's what a session usually involves. It starts off with a bit of quieter music, some classical Turkish, Bilge will sing some songs, and then we'll ramp it up with maybe a bit more lively Macedonian music, and Vivian might sing a Greek song, and then the guider comes out, and the tapan, the massive great double-sided drum, and that's when the dancers get up, and then when they're exhausted and sweaty, we go back to some quiet sort of Persian music or something like that.
He's an amazing guy. For a guy that says little, he somehow has this amazing rapport with people. People just instantly are like him. They feel charitable towards him. They embrace him. And everyone just is drawn to Bill, you know, and he'll just play you something, and if you say, oh, I really like that instrument, he'll go, oh, have it, you know, and, you know, I'll get you some sheet music, you know, just keep it for as long as you want. And that's just his nature. He just gives and gives and gives and gives, and he never asks for anything, ever. And he doesn't believe in asking for money for this. He just believes that it, like all knowledge, it should be free and accessible to everyone, and there shouldn't really be a price on it.
a big realisation for me in this whole journey through the Waziz sessions was getting to Greece and coming up against a whole lot of people who'd travelled a long way to learn the music that we were learning. A lot of them had come from Belgium and Canada and America, and they'd come a long way to pay quite a lot of money to learn from these masters. And I realised that Bill was at home sitting down in the corner cafe in my own neighbourhood with a wealth of information about Turkish modal music and very, very generously giving it away for nothing. And that's when I came back. It was 2007, and I came back and I realised how special the thing that Bill was doing was.
I never thought that I was at a particularly high level of playing music, but I was very eager to learn and you know to bring that level up. And I just approached Bill myself and started getting him to teach me things rather than it being in sort of a group style of learning. And that worked best for me, and I think other people have come into the group being already very good musicians and just being able to be in the community while the music's playing and learn quite quickly that way. And then others have been not at a high level and have had to find which way works best for them to learn and you know ask. You know, it's so easy in that group to ask for help. So for me, that's been the best way to learn. But also there's been people that aren't at a particularly high level of musicianship and still aren't. And that's no problem for them or for anyone else. And they're there because there's a community there, and they want to be involved in that. And for the community to keep going, it needs people to be there and be involved at all different levels.
Verisiye vere vere alamadı kalmadı. Allah canımı almadı almadı. Allah canımı almadı almadı. Rampi 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 maşallah. Rampi 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 maşallah. Sürü sürü cezveler kaynasın kaynasın. Sürü sürü cezveler kaynasın kaynasın. Hanımların göbeği oynasın oynasın. Hanımların göbeği oynasın oynasın. Verisiye vere vere kalmadı kalmadı. Verisiye vere vere kalmadı kalmadı. Allah canımı almadı almadı. Allah canımı almadı almadı. Rampi 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 maşallah. Rampi 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 rampi